In just a few moments, my beloved child, you will sense something stirring deeply within you, a presence so powerful and unwavering that it cannot be ignored. This presence is me, your Heavenly Father, standing right beside you. I invite you to welcome my presence into your homes by simply typing, "Come, Jesus, come." Remember, I am watching over you and protecting you even now. Do not dismiss this moment, for it is not a coincidence. This is my message for you, a loving guidance offered in this very instant. Do not allow it to slip away. Do not leave this message half-heartedly. Embrace the feeling of my divine presence surrounding you, a blessing in itself. If you choose to turn away from this moment, you may find yourself regretting it later. Listen closely, for I am speaking directly to you. You may not realize it, but in ways you cannot see or understand, I have been blocking certain things in your life. Perhaps you have wondered why some doors remain closed or why certain people have come and gone from your life. You might feel disheartened by the paths that seem blocked at every turn. But what you don't see, my precious child, is that I have been here all along, shielding you from harm. I have been protecting you from experiences that would only lead to suffering, from people who might lead you astray, and from places filled with negativity and danger, even from spirits who wish to harm you. Understand this. When I block something in your life, it is not because I want to see you in pain. No, my child. It is because I have a greater plan for you. A plan that you cannot yet see, but that I see so clearly. You may struggle with the idea of blocked paths or unfulfilled desires, but I assure you, what I block is for your own good. What I close is but a shadow compared to the blessings I am preparing for you. Look around you, child. Do you not see the blessings that are already present in your life? Do you not feel my presence even in the quiet moments when you feel alone? Even when you cannot see me, I am there, working behind the scenes, guiding your steps and shielding you from harm. I am the one who gives you strength when you are weak, comfort when you mourn, and peace when your heart is troubled. Let me remind you, my child, that when I block a path, it is not to punish you or to leave you in despair. It is because I see the road ahead. You may not understand why you are kept from certain things or people, but trust that I am protecting you from what you cannot yet see. There are dangers ahead that you are not meant to face. I am your protector, and my love for you will always guide you toward what is best for you. Even when your heart longs for something, when you feel a desire so strong that it pulls you toward a certain path, I will not allow you to walk down that road if it is not what I have planned for you. Whether it's a toxic relationship, a destructive habit, or a path that leads to pain and regret, I will block it. I will not let it take root in your life, because I know the true path for you, the one that leads to joy, fulfillment, and peace. Remember, I am your creator, your heavenly parent. I understand your heart, your desires, your struggles, and your dreams. I know what you need even before you ask for it. When you seek prosperity, I will provide. When you seek freedom from burdens, I will deliver you. You may not see the abundance you desire right now, but know that I have already opened the doors of opportunity for you. It may not come in the way you expect, but trust that it is on its way. Perhaps your bank account does not overflow and your circumstances seem difficult. But do you know what I have given you? I have granted you freedom from debt, freedom from the demands of the world. You may not have everything you think you need, but I will provide everything necessary. Your heart may fear that you lack, but trust me. I will unlock the doors for you when the time is right. Stay faithful, stay patient, and you will find yourself in a place of abundance. I want to bless you, my child, but you must trust in my timing. Align your heart with my will, and you will find the peace and joy you seek. It is true, my child, that I will support you in every way possible, spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. if you choose to align with my will. But if you choose to walk your own path, ignoring my guidance, there may be consequences, and you may experience pain that could have been avoided. So, my precious one, do not resist my will. Do not mourn over the things that I have taken from you. Do not cry over the opportunities that have passed you by. What is coming is far greater, and I am preparing you for it. When you open your heart to receive my will, you will find that joy is waiting for you. The joy that I have set aside for you. The joy that will fill your heart and bring peace to your soul. You may have thought that you missed your chance or that life has passed you by. But I assure you, my child, your true blessing is just ahead. So do not grieve over what is lost. Rather, rejoice in what is coming. If you have received these words in your heart, then you are already blessed. For these are not just words to hear with your ears. They are words meant to touch your soul. I am speaking to you in this moment because I love you and want you to know how deeply I care for you. No matter what you face, no matter the trials and struggles, know that I am with you. I will never leave you, and I will always protect you. In the book of Matthew, I remind you of this truth. Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or gather into barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not worth much more than they? You are worth more than the birds of the air, my beloved child. You are worth more than you could ever understand. I have created you in my image, and I love you beyond measure. Do you trust me? Do you trust that I know what is best for you, even when it is not what you want? The key to walking in my will, my child, is to accept my decisions, even when they oppose your desires. When you trust my will over your own, you will find peace. When you learn to rejoice in my plans, even when they differ from yours, you will begin to see the blessings that await you. Throughout history, countless individuals have faced the same trials and struggles you are experiencing right now. They have walked the same roads of uncertainty, doubt, and frustration, and just like you, they have questioned my will and my plan, but I have always been there, guiding them, protecting them, and leading them toward the promise I have for their lives. Consider the story of Abraham, the father of faith. Abraham was a man who trusted me deeply, yet there came a time when he was called to sacrifice his beloved son, Isaac. Can you imagine the pain in his heart? His son, the one I had promised him, the son through whom all nations would be blessed, was the very one I asked him to give up. Abraham did not understand why I would ask such a thing, but he trusted me anyway. He obeyed, knowing that I had a plan far greater than anything he could see. When Abraham raised the knife to sacrifice Isaac, I intervened. I stopped him, and in that moment, I revealed my perfect provision. I had provided a ram for the sacrifice, and through that act, I showed Abraham that I would always provide for him, even in the most difficult and painful moments. Abraham's obedience, though filled with grief, opened the door to my promises. His willingness to trust me, even when he could not see the full picture, brought him to a place where his faith was made complete, and my promises were fulfilled. This story teaches you, my child, that sometimes I ask you to walk through trials, to trust me amidst what seems impossible, because I am preparing you for something far greater. Abraham's willingness to surrender his most precious possession, his son, allowed him to see the full manifestation of my promises in his life. Think of Joseph, who was sold into slavery by his own brothers. Joseph's story is filled with betrayal, heartache, and pain. He was taken from the comfort of his family and thrown into a life of hardship. Can you imagine the confusion he must have felt? His brothers, the ones he loved, betrayed him and sold him as a slave. Yet in the midst of all this, I was at work in his life. Joseph, though he did not see it at the time, was being prepared for something mighty. His journey took him from the pit of despair to the heights of power in Egypt, second only to Pharaoh himself. Joseph's story is a testament to my providence. He trusted me during the darkest moments of his life, even when he was imprisoned, forgotten, and abandoned by those he helped. He did not lose faith in me. And because of that trust, I used him in a mighty way to save not only Egypt, but also his own family. The very brothers who had betrayed him would eventually bow before him and seek his help during a time of famine. Joseph's response to them was filled with grace and love. "You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good." Genesis 50:20. Joseph understood that even though he could not see the plan, even though he did not understand why things were happening as they were, I was using every circumstance, every moment, to shape him for a greater purpose. So it is with you, my child. You may not comprehend why I have blocked certain things in your life. You may feel betrayed, abandoned, or rejected, but trust that I am using these experiences to prepare you for something greater. I will not leave you in the pit. I will lift you up and place you in the position I have destined for you. Reflect upon the life of Job. Job was a man who loved me with all his heart. He was a man of integrity, and his life was blessed with abundance. Yet, in an instant, everything was taken from him. His wealth, his health, his family. Everything was lost. Job was struck with unimaginable pain and suffering. His friends came and accused him, suggesting that he must have sinned to deserve such punishment. But Job knew in his heart that he had done nothing wrong. He could not understand why these things were happening to him, yet he did not curse me. Job said, "Though he slay me, yet will I trust in him." Job 13:15. Even when Job's faith was tested to the limit, he never turned away from me. Because of his unwavering trust in me, I restored everything to him, double what he had before. Job's story is a powerful reminder that even in our darkest hours, I am with you. I see your pain. I understand your suffering, and I will use it for my glory. Job's ultimate blessing came after his trial, and your greatest blessings will come after the trials you are facing now. Trust in my timing, for I am with you every step of the way. The story of the Israelites wandering in the desert is another example of my protection and guidance. The Israelites had been enslaved in Egypt for hundreds of years, but I delivered them with a mighty hand. They witnessed miracles, such as the parting of the Red Sea, and they were freed from Pharaoh's oppression. Yet, even after all that, they still struggled with doubt and fear. They questioned my will, complained about the food and the journey, and longed to return to Egypt, even though it was a place of bondage. But I had a plan for them. I was leading them to a promised land, a land flowing with milk and honey. I was teaching them to trust in my provision and my guidance. There were times when I had to allow them to face hardships and block their desires for comfort and security so they would learn to rely on me. They wanted to take matters into their own hands, but I knew the way. I knew the path that would lead them to freedom and prosperity. It was not always the path they wanted, but it was the path that was best for them. Just as I led the Israelites through the desert, I am leading you through your own wilderness. The trials you face, those moments when you feel lost or uncertain, are all part of the journey I have set before you. Do not be discouraged when things do not go as you expect. Do not be disheartened when your desires are delayed. Trust in my timing, for I am bringing you to a place of abundance. Just as I did for the Israelites, stay faithful and know that my promises are sure. Then there is the story of David, the shepherd boy who became a king. David was anointed by Samuel to be the next king of Israel, while Saul was still king. However, David's journey to the throne was not immediate. He faced years of hardship, fleeing from King Saul, who sought to kill him out of jealousy. David was anointed as king, yet he did not immediately sit on the throne. He had to undergo a process of preparation, a process of learning humility, patience, and trust in my plan. David could have taken matters into his own hands, but instead, he trusted me to fulfill my promise in perfect timing. Even when he had the opportunity to kill Saul, he chose not to. saying, "The Lord forbid that I should do such a thing to my master, the Lord's anointed, or lay my hand on him, for he is the anointed of the Lord." 1 Samuel 24:6. David understood that my will was far greater than his own desires. He knew that God would make a way for him to become king, but he trusted in my timing. David's patience and trust in my plan led him to the throne, and he became a king after my own heart. His life was not without challenges, but through every trial, David grew in his understanding of my heart and my will. Just as I prepared David, I am preparing you. Trust in my plan, even when you do not understand it, and I will bring you to the place where I have destined you to be. Each of these stories, Abraham, Joseph, Job, the Israelites, and David, shows you a common thread. Trusting in my will, even when it is difficult to understand, leads to great blessings. These individuals did not always understand why they had to face certain trials, but they trusted in my plan and allowed me to guide them, even when it meant walking through fire. Because of their faith, I used their stories to bring glory to my name. So, my beloved child, remember this: my plans for you are good. I am not blocking your path to hurt you. I am blocking your path to protect you. I see what you cannot see, and I am leading you to a place of blessing. Trust in my timing, trust in my will, and know that I will bring you to the place I have prepared for you. Your journey is not over, it is just beginning. And with me by your side, you will walk into your destiny, amen.